Hey guys, and welcome to Tea Time with Jules. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. Today I have kind of a different video for you guys. I'm going to be taking you through the process of doing my stage makeup for a show. So right now I'm doing Sweeney Todd the musical, and this is set in like London in the Georgian era, like around 1785. So they want us to do like a grimy, gritty London. So I usually do basic stage makeup, which is just contour without blending it. But today we're gonna actually be looking like we live in a chimney sweep or something. So I just am gonna take you guys through the process of like showing you how I create the look. We do have hair and makeup stylists, but the makeup is pretty much done like all on our own with some help from them. So I'm gonna be creating this look on my own and we're gonna see how that is gonna happen. Okay, so the story, Sweeney Todd is called the Demon Barber of Fleet Street because he was imprisoned. He was jailed for like some crime that he didn't do back in the day because this evil judge coveted his wife, who was pretty. Sex to be pretty, I guess, back in the 1700s. Sweeney Todd was imprisoned like 15 years, and he's now wondering, okay, maybe he'll come back to his wife, and they had a child named Joanna, and he comes back and he finds that his wife and his child are gone. Basically, his wife was kind of pursued and probably by the judge, and so she took poison and is now thought to be dead. His little baby, his daughter, has been raised by the evil judge this whole time, who is just the creepiest of the creepers. He's definitely has a thing for children. He's a child. And so now, of course, Sweeney Todd wants revenge. And he ends up teaming up with this lady, Mrs. Lovett, who remembers him from back in the good old days and tells him that she'll help him get his revenge. So like one thing leads to another. He goes back to being a barber. She's kept his like really nice barber tools, so those things are expensive. So he goes back to being a barber, and then his plan is to get the judge and this other well-to-do man in society who is also kind of evil, the aristocrats. And he wants to get them into his barber shop to, you know. So there's another guy, there's like a side story within the story with this guy, Anthony, who is a sailor who met Sweeney Todd like in the beginning. And so he comes, and then he somehow sees Joanna, who is now, she's probably like 15 or 16 now, marriageable age back in the day, immediately falls in love. He's like the Disney prince character, and she's like the Disney princess characters of the whole show. They're like the only good people in the show, basically. They kind of have a thing for each other, and the judge is being all like, you can't have my award, because I'm gonna marry her, after pretending to kind of like be her father. He's just super, super creepy and weird. Oh my gosh, I hate him. And so then eventually Sweeney Todd gets the judge and the beadle, the evil aristocratic guy, into his shop, and he, well, kills him, as one would do for revenge. It's cool, like, so this musical is by Stephen Sondheim, and from kind of looking over the, like, learning the music, and the words for the show, at least for the chorus parts, he creates like these really intricate storylines in his plot. So you kind of have to really like pay attention to all the little details so you can grasp the whole thing. It's really quite cool. It's kind of complex when you look into it. So this character, Pirelli, comes around and he's some Italian barber. He's like the goofiest dude, just a character. And so he ends up actually being Irish. I was so confused when I first heard this, like in rehearsals. The guy who plays Pirelli does this Italian accent, buongiorno, good day. And then when he actually goes to Sweeney Todd's barbershop, he has an Irish accent, like he's an Irish man. And apparently he remembers Sweeney Todd from back in the day when Sweeney Todd's real name is Benjamin Barker, really British. And so he tries to blackmail him. And naturally Sweeney Todd's like, no thanks, I'm just gonna kill you then. Yeah. I don't know how Pirelli didn't see that coming. Yeah, so that's like their first murder, and Mrs. Lovett helps him cover it up. And I forgot my eyeshadow palette, so I'll be back. Okay, so Pirelli is dead. And so now they're trying to figure out like what to do with the body. Yeah, typical. They should really watch, what's that show? How to... Okay, so they figure out Mrs. Lovett, the wackadoodle crazy person that she is. She has a pie shop, and apparently her pies are like the worst pies in London. She has a whole song about it. So she is talking about how meat is so expensive nowadays, and Mrs. Mooney has a pie shop around the corner, and she uses, oh, this is so gross, she uses her cats in pies. Yeah, well, apparently they're pretty tasty. Sorry for all the cat lovers out there. And so Mrs. Lovett comes up with this idea that like, you know, meat's so expensive nowadays, it would be such a waste to just like throw away this body, don't you think? So why don't we just kind of like use it for things and pies? So that's what they do. And so this basically this whole story is about cannibalism. It's great. So she ends up baking meat pies, these meat pies made out of humans, which I don't know, this is supposed to be like a dark comedy kind of thing. In the beginning, it's definitely more of like a kind of comedy a bit, but by the end, it's definitely just a dark drama. Yeah, it gets really twisted. People are just loving these pies. There's a whole song, which is one of the hardest scenes in the whole musical for the chorus, because the choreography it's bomb, it's cool, but it's really hard to get everything so accurate with the words. And so we are just eating the pies, and we actually eat real like meat pies on stage, or they look like little empanadas. And there's a bakery around here that bakes them for us like every night. And so we're just eating pies on stage, and let me tell you guys, eating and singing at the same time is like really hard. You kind of have to time it, and I'm really bad at timing it. And there are freezes that we do, like we have to freeze for some measures while other people are singing off to the side. And I'm frozen with like some meat pie in my mouth, trying to like swallow really subtly. Okay, so just so you know what I'm doing with my makeup, I've kind of just been doing stuff. But for the show, since they want kind of, it's like dark, gritty London, we do a lot of like dark eye makeup and kind of around the eye to make it look all smudgy. And they want, like, we're not all doing the same kind of makeup. Everybody's makeup looks slightly different. So it actually looks like we're people living in this town and we're kind of like bringing this town to life. They want us to look like we've been living there for years and the grime and the soot is just like ingrained on our skin. So, okay. So I got kind of a smoky eye. It just becomes messy because it's supposed to look messy, which I really like about the stage makeup. Oh yeah. You guys would be appalled by some of the stage makeup that you see. People get their teeth done where it looks like they have teeth missing and it actually looks very realistic. I get a little bit scared when I see some people backstage. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm just gonna do a little bit of this contour, I guess. I probably am married to a chimney sweep or something. Maybe I am a chimney sweep in this show. And they told us to base our makeup off of our characters. Like, who are you? And being in the chorus, you kind of have to just make that stuff up yourself. I feel like I could possibly be a chimney sweep or some up-and-coming, kind of grew up in rough times in London, and trying to make my way. I feel like I could be a little bit of an entrepreneur. I could make up anything, guys. Just as long as you have, like, I don't know, some purpose for your character. Doesn't matter what it is. That really actually brings a lot to your energy on stage, your character. It makes everything look a little bit more realistic. And that's what the audience paid for. So this is as far as I will go right now. And I will take you guys backstage with me so you can see the final full product. Okay.
Hey guys, I'm backstage in the dressing rooms now finishing up my makeup, and I realized I also need to finish telling you guys about the story. Okay, so here we go. So after the meat pies, then there's this whole side story, remember, about Anthony and Joanna, who is Sweeney Todd's daughter, who's being taken care of by the judge, creepy judge. Okay, so the judge finds out about Anthony and Joanna. Anthony is trying to steal Joanna away because he realizes that the judge has been keeping her locked up and is just not a good dude. So he's gonna steal her away, okay? The judge locks Joanna up into an insane asylum just because he can. Isn't that great when you have power? So Anthony makes a plan with Sweeney Todd to steal Joanna away from the insane asylum. She really doesn't belong there. So this is one of my favorite scenes in the insane asylum, where the chorus, we get to act as patients in the insane asylum, like as crazy people. And Anthony goes there, he saves Joanna, he kills the director. The whole chorus, we just gather in a clump around the director's dead body and start singing this insane song. We look really creepy and crazy. There's red lighting in our faces. Like, I know we look really creepy, which is the goal, right? So now Anthony takes Joanna back to Sweeney Todd's barbershop to hide her there. So he's gotten his revenge at this point, but he didn't realize Joanna was there. She basically heard the whole thing. So now he's gonna kill her too. He's gonna kill his own daughter, who he doesn't know is his daughter because he just hasn't seen her in so long, he doesn't recognize her. Crazy. So she escapes, thankfully, because he gets distracted and he hears Mrs. Lovett screaming in the bakehouse. He goes to see what's wrong. She was screaming because, you know, the judge wasn't quite dead at this point. So he goes down there, and who does he see? He sees the old beggar woman that he just killed, gets a closer look at her and realizes this is like the hugest plot twist of the whole thing. He realizes it's his wife, Lucy. He didn't recognize her the whole time. She's been coming up in the show this whole time. He didn't recognize her because, well, she looks really rough, guys. She's been living on the streets in London in the 1700s. She's diseased and probably she's not all there. So he realizes this and is just completely broken at this point. And he ends up throwing Mrs. Lovett into the oven, killing her because she kind of lied to him a little bit. She kind of fibbed a little bit. Oh my goodness. Then Toby comes. Toby is this guy this boy pretty much, that's been helping them out. He was helping out Pirelli's dead, helping out Mrs. Lovett with her shop and everything. Mrs. Lovett's dead. And now he realizes that he's been eating people. He realizes what they've been doing, that the meat pies are made out of people, human flesh, and well, that would probably drive anyone insane. So he's completely unhinged, and he ends up slicing Sweeney Todd's throat. Isn't that great? Yeah. And so that's how the story ends. Okay guys, so as you can see, I'm applying some eyeshadow to my face to make it look like I just crawled out of a chimney sweep. But the makeup stylists or the makeup artists were really good at helping us make it look more natural and helping us to kind of smudge it out a bit more. And I kind of tried to put it on places on my face where it looked like I had dirt on my hands and just kind of wiped my face. So I tried to make it look like it was in more of a natural place. I put some on my neck, my forehead, my nose, and all those areas where I would kind of like, think that I'd be wiping my face after a long day's work or something. And then I put some lipstick on and smudge it up a bit so that it doesn't look too perfect, so it still looks kind of grimy or like I just had a really gross makeout session. And that's the look. And here are the bloopers with my crazy ass friends. Enjoy. Oh my god. So we have the black swan.
Hi, if you could call 999-1011, I would really appreciate it. Tell them that their little daughter JonBenet Ramsey is here.
I think just 999 is the number.
Free JonBenet.
Free JonBenet's dead. What? Her brother did it. Oh yeah. Yes, and the parents covered it up because why wouldn't they? Men are more important than little girls.
Yes. Sorry. I
don't know what we're talking about.
It was me.
These freaking Londoners. God. Okay. This is the look. This is the look, guys. Gritty Londoner. And we're done. And we're done.